Think about your next hire. I'm sure you'll want it to be successful. And I'm also sure that you will do all you can to find a talented individual who can contribute to your company. But the odds of them turning out to be a bad hire, an ill fitting hire, or a good hire that leaves too soon is increasing by the day. The fact is that we've all had hires go wrong. And this is happening more often than ever because hiring is getting harder to do and is becoming more expensive when it goes wrong. But the state of hiring today isn't your fault. It's become extremely competitive and highly complex. And you're doing the best you can with the limited amount of time you have to source qualified candidates and get them through an interview process before they get snatched up by a competitor. Look at the current state of hiring. Talk of the Great Resignation being the source of hiring difficulty is overblown. We are seeing a steadily increasing turnover since the 07-08 recession. And this trend of high turnover has been a long time coming and will continue. Forecasts call for turnover rates to hit 24% next year and to keep climbing. This is all despite uncertain economic times and a dip in hiring due to concern over a recession and runaway inflation. Turnover is trending in the wrong direction for employers, and it is costing companies a fortune. While close to half of all surveyed workers are actively looking for a new job, the cost of employees' exit keeps multiplying. The most conservative turnover and replacement expenses at a 1,000-person company with an average pay of $50,000 would be $7.6 million per year. Meanwhile, a Canadian survey on employee turnover reported that the cost of replacing an employee can be between 75 and 2% of a worker's annual pay. This would push the yearly turnover cost of our 1,000-people company towards $8.2 million. While a 2019 Gallup study would put that turnover and replacement number for a 1,000-person company with an average pay of $50,000 as high as $26 million per year. And this number is climbing by the day. Poor retention and high turnover is expensive. The chart shows the normal trajectory of an employee at an organization. They start off not being very productive. Over time, after a typical transition period, they begin making contributions. Then, once they decide they are moving on, production and engagement falls off. Things can significantly be improved when you hire more effectively. The life cycle of a best fit hire makes a quicker transition to contribution and outperforms a typical hire over the life cycle of their career at an organization. But with high turnover and poor retention rates, organizations are at risk of having even their best and most profitable workers leave. And this is what it costs them over a 3-year period, for example, in a sales position. Hiring better and retaining that one employee into the 3-year mark makes a massive difference. In this case, a $1.3 million difference. What is significant here is the gap where the organization is searching for the replacement of a typical worker. This is where the cost of poor retention and high turnover proves to be even more significant than the cost of a typical turnover that we've already shared. There is a solution. The turnover rates we are seeing today are costing organizations tremendous losses, and this is entirely preventable. And it starts with hiring. Hiring well doesn't just prevent losses. Hiring well is profitable. Better retention begins at the beginning of the hiring stage. With close to half of all employee turnover happening within the first 12 months in a role, it is crucial for organizations to retain employees beyond the 1-year threshold. Plus, an overwhelmingly majority of employees, 77%, who have only been at their job for less than a year, say they are open to taking on a different job. Meanwhile, 44% are already actively looking for a different job, while 66% of workers have accepted a job only to discover they were not a good fit. Half of those who did so resigned within 6 months. Add to this the fact that hiring managers are struggling to keep up. The 3 areas where they struggle the most are finding and attracting skilled candidates in a timely manner, increased competition for candidates, and retaining candidates once they've been hired. They do this all while trying to manage a work-life balance and overcoming the numerous other challenges that are present before hirers can even speak to a candidate. This is fixable. To solve the retention and turnover issues plaguing companies today, 2 things need to happen. First, companies need to understand the critical difference between what candidates want and what they need. Employers are trying to meet recruiting challenges by attempting to fulfill the wants of candidates. Employees say they want more money. They want hybrid, flexible work hours, healthcare benefits, opportunities for upskilling, and paid time off. Employers are trying with great intentions to attract candidates with all these perks, but these wants alone aren't enough to retain employees if they're not getting what they need. Providing wants may work for attracting candidates in the short term, but in the long term, it doesn't work. Employees can't keep dangling carrots in hopes it will because it won't. And the losses will continue to pile up. Wants change, it's human nature. Needs don't. Candidates don't really know what they want. Since 2007, employees have consistently changed what they think they want. Hybrid work, unlimited PTO, ping pong tables, wellness packages. Even when their wants are met, it doesn't change the fact that turnover continues to increase. What actually drives retention is understanding and meeting needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory in psychology. This hierarchy, also referred to as Maslow's theory of motivation, includes 6 levels of human needs: physiological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. All of these are available to be met at work. When they are, employees stay. And better yet, it doesn't require an overhaul of your organization to meet needs. Just a simple rethinking of the way you hire. Here's an example of Maslow's hierarchy at work. When you meet the needs of employees, looking at the bottom of the slide and working upwards, physiological needs are met by providing fair compensation. The need for safety is met when workers are emotionally supported and feel secure in their job. The need for belonging is met when positive relationships are established. The need for esteem is met when employees are recognized for their achievements and contributions. The cognitive needs are met when they are trusted and employees reach actualization when they reach their full potential. This leads them to feeling motivated to continue their career path and to succeed. Because nobody quits a job that they love and where they feel valued and have a purpose for a 5% increase in salary somewhere else. You couldn't get Tom Brady to leave the Patriots for 20 years, even though he was making $5 to $10 million less per year than his peers. The second part of the retention equation, after understanding the wants-needs dilemma, is using a hiring methodology that provides the framework for meeting the employee's needs. This framework is what we call role design. Role design, as we do it, is a hiring framework based on the latest in behavioral science and probability theory, developed by a team of researchers to help companies meet the needs of workers at the most critical stage impacting retention, the first 12 months. First, the role design process overcomes the shift shock that job candidates are experiencing today. 72% of new hires are finding that the position or company is materially different from what they were led to believe. This means that 3/4 of companies are undermining the ability to meet the needs of a new worker at the moment of introduction. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and it's critical that organization makes one that fulfills the needs of their new workers. This is what the role design process achieves. It removes all ambiguities, assumptions, and the unmet expectations that lead to poor retention rates and turnover losses. It replaces them with clear benchmarks about the role, its environment, the opportunities and challenges present, and what needs to be achieved in the role to become a success. The results of a successful role design process based on the wants needs paradigm leads to the talent acquisition pot of gold. It works like this. Use hiring experts trained in the role design process to develop and design roles for vacant positions, which balances and optimizes offering candidate wants for attracting while providing the needs to ensure retention. This leads to more attractive and engaged job descriptions with the right candidates leading to best fit hires. Best fit hires obtained with role design understand the demands of the role clearly, know what it takes to achieve, and have a clear roadmap for success to follow. This meets their physiological, safety, belonging, esteem, and cognitive needs on the way to achieving actualization in the role, leading to improved employee engagement and increased productivity. Increased productivity and higher engagement means a better quality of hire for the organization and higher job satisfaction for the employee. Employees that love their work, achieve success, and feel that they belong tell people about it, and this increases brand reputation. Better brand reputation increases greater brand recognition, which creates a larger pool of talented individuals who want to work for your company the next time you hire. And the self-fulfilling retention cycle begins again as you continue to grow as a company. The struggle with hiring today is not the fault of hiring managers. The talent market is complex and competitive, And hiring managers today don't have the time and haven't been provided the tools to address hiring and retention in a sustainable way. The savings of a self-fulfilling retention cycle go far beyond just lowering unnecessary costs associated with turnover, which are astronomical as it is. A self-fulfilling retention cycle allows companies to grow market share, expand, invest, innovate, and acquire competitors and increase overall organizational wealth, because it can happen one hire at a time.